Alrighty, folks. Module 7. We did it. Time to go on set. This is quite a challenging module as I can't stay in one place for too long. Such is the life of being on set. And we still have to make a film while I try to teach you about the intricacies of using anamorphics in that process. Fortunately for us, Lumix took on the role of sponsoring this module, which made it a lot easier to justify talking up all these features that I've been using for the last 4 years on the assortment of cameras that I've had from them. Since I'll be moving fast, here's an outline of what we're covering in this module. Today is day 1, and we are prepping. After this little intro, we're going to a prep bay, and among our goals are checking the compatibility of all of our gear, making sure the rigging from Module 6 is put to good use, and no technical issues will get in our way once we start rolling. In episode 2, we'll look at critical focus and confirm that you have all you need to ensure your lens's best performance. We'll confirm infinity focus, we'll make sure that we're aware of focus shift at fast apertures, and cover some quick tips and tricks on pulling focus. Episode 3 is all about diopters. The first question is, are you using them? Followed by, are you using them all the time? I'll cover the math of diopters, plus why they're good tools to both boost your production value, as well as get you out of a pickle when pushing close to your subjects. The last episode in this module addresses in-camera anamorphic stabilization and how it dangerously differs from using regular lens stabilization, which can lead to many ruined shots. If you are stabilizing your footage in camera, it is important that your camera knows you are using an anamorphic lens and its power. This is one of Lumix's unique features, and I am a big fan. Now, let's get to it, shall we? Today is our prep day, which usually happens a day or two before we start filming. We are at SPARKY'S with our own prep bay to go over what you need to check before you start rolling. We have our staple camera team. We have Lila Ferradens as our cinematographer, Chris McBride as our first AC, and we are getting a second AC on set. They'd normally be at prep 2. By the time we get here, the director, me, and the cinematographer Lila have already decided on essential points such as the aspect ratio of the film and, obviously, the look. Those conversations are deeply connected to the story that we are telling. You should always put story first, and everything else serves story. I prefer to avoid decisions like, these lenses look cool, I'll use them on my next project, if the look of the next project doesn't fit what the lenses deliver. The story that we are telling has a bit of science fiction, some horror, and we wanted to give the audience a wider view to the environment to be on the lookout for the horror before the characters notice it. So the look will determine what gear is required, and those creative decisions trickle down to today, where we come in to take out the equipment, make sure everything works, and address any unexpected issues like, these cables are too short, or this battery is not charging. We will also confirm vague ideas like, how is the camera rig for when we're flying it on the gimbal? We know it has to be light, but today we will build it and test it, so when we are on set, we already know what to do. Don't skip on prep day, and don't rush it either. We'll start by checking if we got all the pieces that we need. Is the camera here? Lenses. What about all our accessories, including wireless video, remote follow focus, matte box, monitors, extra rigging pieces, cables, and extra bits and bobs? Are they all accounted for? If not, it's time to track them down. Once all parts are located, we will start building the camera using all the lessons from Module 6. Some of these builds will require handles, others will require stripping down several parts. Prep is the time to make those decisions and work out the issues. It's also a good opportunity to figure out how long each of these switches take, so we can factor those times in the planning of the filming days. If we know switching from sticks to gimbal takes 30 minutes, we can plan for something else to take that time, such as recording wild lines or changing a light setup. Here, we also create our neat cabling for all the pieces that need power. The camera gets something, the follow focus too, and so does the wireless transmitter and a potential external monitor. All of this comes out of a single V-Lock battery, so whenever we refresh batteries, everything is fully powered. After the camera is put together, we will check the lenses. Start with cosmetics. Are they in good shape? Any dings or scratches on the body? Anything that's worth noting? You should register and report before production starts, especially if you are working with rental gear. Otherwise, the responsibility for that damage will fall on you. If you're using all manual lenses, give them a good shake and listen for any rattling inside. It's worth noting that if you shake lenses that feature optical stabilization, you will hear something in there, as some elements are designed to move around a bit to achieve that stabilization. Check how focus, iris, and zoom rings feel. Are they stiff, smooth? They should have clean hard stops on both ends. Next, check the optics for scratches, marks, dust, or any sort of debris. Document and report anything unexpected about the optics too. While you're at it, check support gear such as filters and diopters. It is paramount that any issues are addressed before production starts. Last, with the lens mounted on the camera, check for focus. I'm not going too deep about focus in this episode, as that's the theme of the next episode, but you want to make sure that the witness marks are somewhat accurate. If something serious comes up during these checks, make sure to address it. If the lenses need servicing, it's good to know in advance. Now that we confirmed the glass is alright and the camera is built, we must get our settings straight. We are using the S5 IIX. There are lots of settings that you can play with, depending on your preferences. We want to make sure that we are using the agreed recording format, setting it to 6K, 3x2, 420, 24 FPS, or 23976, and set the color to Vlog, as well as turn on a Vlog to Rec 709 LUT, or any other LUT of your choosing. I also want to turn on anamorphic D-squeeze and set it to 1.5 times, and pre-registered all the lenses in our set for the stabilization menu. We will turn on the setting for anamorphic stabilization now, and when we start rolling, all we need to do is switch the focal lengths between the numbers that we have saved today. I'll turn on crop marks to 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, as this is our delivery format, and that's a little bit smaller than the 3x2 recording format, plus the 1.5 times anamorphics. It's also a good time to set your custom function buttons to any tools that help you on set. Zebras, histogram, waveform, shortcuts for checking critical focus, or focus peaking are just a few of the functions that I recommend you set up at this stage. The last thing that I'm going to set in the camera is format the media and label the cards starting at A001, so when we are offloading them, we can keep better track of all the media. If you prefer to rig a bigger screen onto the camera, that is also a valid option. Then you can set up some of those tools on the external monitor instead, such as false colors, LUTs, D-squeeze, and more. Then we'll send our image through our transmitter onto the first AC station. We'll set up our focus puller station and video village for the rest of the crew at the same time. The core things we need to confirm here are that the wireless video signal is coming in without much lag, preferably zero lag, that the D-squeeze and the crop marks are set correctly, and that the color looks friendly to the rest of the crew. Specifically looking at the first AC station, we have a Small HD 702 Touch and the wireless receiver all powered by the same V-Lock. I have made some extremely elaborate focus stations in the past, and this is the stripped down version that I ended up with after my sister built it for work in the industry over a year. The station needs its own stand, a good hood, and a RoboCup. Don't miss out on the RoboCup. Your first AC must be familiar with the monitor's tools, being able to quickly navigate the D-squeeze, punching in for critical focus, and tweaking settings for focus peaking. This is also when you pre-program focus settings for all of your lenses. The Nano 2 doesn't have a distance indicator, but many other systems give you rings that you can use to match the witness marks in each of your lenses. Mini wireless follow focus give you the option of triggering the camera to start and stop recording, rec stop for the more intimate ones. There's a lot of etiquette when it comes to when one starts rolling, and I'm not going to be the one to teach you that. But in this setup stage, we want to confirm that the rec stop is working consistently, so the first AC can be responsible for it. As you will see in Module 8, I highly recommend that you film distortion grids for all of your lenses and properly slate them. Your post-production team will find these super valuable should you need any time of VFX or compositing. Take your time to ensure these grids are perfect. Once all of this is done, store the camera in a case that can hold it safely while fully built. This saves time when you're setting up on the day. Organize the remaining gear in a way that makes sense for the film. You might find it useful to combine the contents of a few cases or to transfer the smaller bits and pieces to your ditty bags instead of keeping them in their actual cases. This is particularly applicable to filters. Prep your slate too and practice that handwriting. An unreadable slate is worse than no slate in most cases. Before loading out the gear and turning off the lights, ensure all batteries are charged so you start your day with full power. The hardest part for me is after prep is done, going home and actually getting a good night of sleep. My nerves always get the best of me before the first day of production, so if you feel the same, know it's normal and it's okay. Going on set is incredibly stressful. One of the best ways to make it less stressful is to prep properly. You have made sure to iron out all the foreseeable issues related to the gear. If or when things go wrong, you will be prepared for it. On the next episode, I'll step a little closer to our first AC and go over tips and techniques to make sure no technical issues get in the way of us achieving sharp results. We'll look at critical focus, confirming infinity, and go over focus shift when filming at fast apertures. I hope this helps you get set up for your next project. Out.